Hello and welcome to the Called and Capable podcast, conversations with leaders living their calling. I'm your host, Sarah Sillers, and this is where purpose fuels leadership. We'll dig into questions like what's my calling and how do I lead through it with guests who have been there. Let's step into their stories together and find clarity and strength. Hey there, how's it going? Sarah here. Welcome back to the Called and Capable podcast. We're thrilled that you're joining in with us today. If you didn't catch last week's episode, it was with Megan Willay. She's a real estate professional here in East Tennessee, and she specializes helping first-time homebuyers and families relocating to the area. So if you missed that, go ahead and head back and check that out. Also last week, we had our first Called and Capable masterclass on getting unstuck and living your calling. It was a huge success. We had a blast during Q&A, and then also I enjoyed helping everybody move forward in their calling. And then before I introduce today's guest, we're actually going to go ahead and check out the scripture to see what God has to say about our calling. In 1 Corinthians 1:9, God is faithful, by whom you were called in fellowship with his Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Now, today our guest is dedicated third-generation entrepreneur with over 40 years of experience, passionately advocating for small business growth and community development. Leading with honesty and transparency, he founded a nonprofit to empower Hispanic and diverse businesses across Southern California. Please welcome Frank Montes. Welcome,
Good
Frank.
morning. Hey, good morning,
Glad
Sarah.
you're here, even with the time difference. Thank you so much for coming on.
What time is it out there?
You know what? It's 12 o'clock, so still bright and
Wow.
early for you, but I have a half a day under my belt.
Wow. Good. But it's thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's dive on in. I definitely want to hear your story. Frank and I have been friends for a long time now. Oh gosh, over 10 years, easy.
Yes.
And so I've been able to see some different transitions and just growth within your business and also with you involved in the community, but I don't know your current story. So would you tell me a little bit on like where you're at now and what it is that you do to live your calling currently?
Definitely. Well, I've been involved with nonprofits for probably 18 years now. And it happened, I just stepped in it I'm going to say by accident or by faith. I joined a local chamber 18 years ago to advocate for my business or get new clients. And I quickly learned as I'm advocating for my business, I'm actually advocating for all businesses because you can't walk into a room and ask for change or ask for opportunities for one business. You have to advocate for all of them. And I learned that pretty quick that, hey, you know, if I'm doing this for myself and I'm asking for a level playing field, it just can't be for Inland Body and Paint Center. It has to be for all businesses. So I got involved with that and had fun with it. Enjoyed it, and got into other chambers in the Inland Empire. Was chairman of the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, along with other local chambers throughout different states. Uh, then I was elected as a board member to the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, which oversaw over 100 local Hispanic and other diverse chambers of commerce, and was there for probably 8 years. And I was also vice chairman of the national, which oversaw the United States, Colombia, and Puerto Rico. Then finished my terms there and came back to the Inland Empire and thought that was it.
Yeah.
Started focusing on my business. The community, the needs of the community continued, especially right around COVID.
Okay.
When COVID came, it changed the landscape of all business, but especially small business. The way you approach it, the challenges, it had new challenges. It was different. You couldn't advocate for businesses the way you did pre-COVID or post-COVID.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Everything changed. Absolutely
yes,
everything changed. Especially if you had a brick and mortar, you weren't able to open up your doors. So you had to find another way to almost bootleg your products
yeah,
and
yeah.
services, or you had to discover, shipping and open up your own 3PL practically.
No, definitely. So when that came up, We saw it in our business because we're third generation small business. My two sons run it, and we saw the challenges on the supply chain. And I kind of knew when COVID, before the shutdown, I said the first thing that's going to happen is the supply chain. That's going to get impacted because the whole world shut down. So once COVID was over and people were able to open up their small businesses, the challenge still continued the supply chain and the lack of a workforce because, let's face it, a ton of money was coming from the feds. So people got a little spoiled, didn't want to go right back to work. So those challenges continue for our small businesses. But I also said that business survived COVID, but the challenges for our small businesses are going to continue for a decade, if not more, to
Sure.
to gain ground again and understand where business is going. Because, like you said, the brick and mortar, that landscape has changed. And
Completely.
yeah,
And now we're doing so much virtually, like even this podcast, normally I would either need to fly to you or vice versa to do that. And now we're just able to do it over webcam, and it's
exactly.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
it's easier in some aspects. And I definitely want to make sure and not lose that personal touch. So, but I
No,
think
no,
that's a something for all of us to be aware with our clients to never lose that personal touch and that connection because we're supposed to have that community.
yeah. And that's changed because a lot of people they don't talk to each other as much as they used to. I'll give you an example. My two goddaughters, I will spend days with them on the weekends, take them both out to eat, the movies, or just hang out. And one sitting in the front seat, one sitting in the back, and they're texting each other. And they're in the same car. And I'd have to grab their phones and put it away and say, look, this is our time. Uh, Concerned about that because it's you start losing that connection, like you said, and it changes the landscape of community. Small businesses were community. Once that segment leaves, it changes the fabric of the entire community. You're not out shopping, connecting with your neighbors, having conversations, and um, you know that changes everyone. It changes you and I. It changes how our kids interact and lost that human connection, like you said.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
that's changing everything also.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Hispanic Coalition for Small Businesses. Is that a nationwide coalition or is it specifically to California? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. So the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses is a coalition of business organizations. So we have African American uh, uh, business organizations, Vietnamese, Filipino, Middle Eastern, because business is business. You advocate for business, you advocate for all. I have an emphasis on our Latino community because I understand the culture. There's challenges in every culture, and we need to make sure that we are there supporting them. Just like our African American colleagues, it's all about small businesses, but even that segment of the community has their individual challenges. The Vietnamese, the Filipino, we all do. We all do. As you know, um, it's going to take decades and decades for, and this is my hope, for all the cultures to become one. Um, that's what I would love to see because at the end of the day, we are one and the same. We are one and the same. We are all human beings. We all come from the same place. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that for my grandchildren. I want to see where everyone comes together as a family. Well, let's put it this way: even families have challenges. So of course our
That they
communities are
do.
going to have challenges.
That they
You
do. But
know,
you know what? Here we are, to kind of tag on that is we're one body of Christ. The
yes,
body of believers. We are there to support each other. And, everybody that's an entrepreneur obviously may not be a believer, but we are able to serve them and show how Christ served the church. So ideally, everything that we do in serving our customers, our colleagues, other small businesses, we're able to serve them in a way to reflect Christ and give glory to God. Because that's what we're
Yes.
here to do as a body of believers. So I love how you said that with let's support it as one. Let's be a unit together. There is strength in numbers, and everybody does need support, and that varies of course as to which kind, but beautifully said.
No, definitely, and when challenges come to humanity, we do come together. When tragedy, we're together, like 9/11. I remember when that happened, how everyone was as one. Uh, no, nobody saw race, nobody saw color, nobody saw difference in religion. What they saw was community, and everyone came together. And it's sad that that happens that way. It's just like, weddings and funerals. You go to a wedding, you see people that you haven't seen in forever, and then you never see those folks again. When you are laying someone to rest, the same thing. You see everybody come out, but where you've been 10, 15, 20 years, um, you know, I would want to see that change. I want to see that connection. I think it's important because for our mental health, also, it is important to come together as one. Wherever, whatever you believe in, if you believe in a higher power, whatever you believe in, you have to just believe in something. Um, I talk to the youth, and I always tell them when life is challenging, when you believe that you've lost everything, you can always fall back on your culture. You can always fall back on your beliefs, fall back on that because then you understand that you're not alone.
Absolutely.
You do come from something beautiful, and no one can ever take that away from you.
Well, we were created to worship. We are created in God's image, so we therefore were made to serve and
Yes.
made to worship. So if you don't have that faith in that higher power, and quite frankly, know your calling and serve God, then you're going to be lost and you're going to trying
Yes.
to serve yourself, which is very unfulfilling. I mean, there's only so much money, so much success before you go, wow, there's nobody around me, or
Yes.
what purpose do I have this for? And eventually that runs out. So, again, another great point by you.
That definitely. But yeah, so that's all we do is advocate for our community because our tagline is advancing small business communities because we are one and the same.
All right.
When
I love it.
Yeah, whenever our community is struggling, our small businesses struggle because our small business owners come and live in the community. The families that we employ come from our communities. So, and vice versa, when our small businesses are struggling or challenging or being challenged, our community is going to have the same effect because we come from the community. We are the community. So we do get involved in youth programs because that is our future workforce. That is our future small business owners and our future entrepreneurs, our future doctors, our future that we are going to depend on. So we need to invest time and mentoring the youth.
Well,
So
gosh,
that's where
Frank,
our
you just
tagline.
took my next question. You already answered it. I was going to ask you how you find and develop the new leaders, but here you
Yes.
go, talking to youth. Could you tell me a little bit maybe about how you do that? Like what topics? I would assume small business, but can you point them in the right direction of other areas?
Yes, we have events throughout the year, and I started inviting the youth to participate. And it happened by accident. I met this young student around 10 years old, and it was a talent contest. And she sang, and I'm like, oh my God, what a beautiful voice. And then we see all these talented youth. And I invited one of them to one of our events to sing. And she sang, and it was great. She was well received because This award ceremony that we have, we recognize women throughout the state, and we give them a Latinissima award, which means, Latinissima. It means a woman that's made it to the top, but also brings somebody behind them. So the young girl was there, and then the father called me and said, "Look, my daughter enjoyed it. She's never been around uh, successful women like that, and their stories were amazing. How can she be around? How can she get engaged with uh, people like that, folks like that?" And I started inviting her to the events and invited a lot of her friends, and they started attending the events. Then we started a hike program for ourselves, just to get out there and de-stress and see nature. Started inviting the kids. They started coming with us. They continue going to our events, and as we're hiking, I'm speaking to all the children. I'm speaking to the parents of what they see, how they see their future. What are the challenges of the parents in everyday life, and the struggles of being a parent, the struggles of just, paying the light, paying the bills. And as we were hiking, you learned a lot about each other. You're able to connect because there's nothing around you. It's just you, nature, and your neighbors. So we continued that. We invite the students to all of our events, and we also provide mentorship. Not only mentorship for them, but for us, because it's a therapy for us as we're talking to them. So we have this year-round program. So they attend as many hikes as they can, as many events, and we're available for them 24/7. If they have a question or they just need to vent or feel overwhelmed, there's always somebody there. But the parents also get those opportunities. So we've seen the growth in our youth. We've seen them change their mindset, but also change our mindset as adults, because we are somewhat disconnected from what the children are going through, because
Sure.
we're in a different level. We don't know what we don't know, and out of sight, out of mind. So it's changing the kids, and they're seeing we're prepping them for the jobs of the future. We start with we have elementary school, middle school, and high school, and even college students that attend. So we just and then bringing the community together with all the bullying that's going on. If you get kids that just talk to each other, and when they go to class, they're friends, because you can get two students that are going at it. And if you got those students and you took them out of that environment and you put them in nature and they start talking to each other, they understand what they're going through in life, and you
Mm-hmm.
understand each other,
Yeah.
and you're able to work things out. You're able to have empathy for each other, and know that everybody's struggling in one way or another. And that's my wish, because my granddaughters are growing up in this environment, and I want to make sure that they're able to have a beautiful world to live in.
Absolutely. And what one of the biggest takeaways that I heard you say that I thought was amazing was the leaders are able to help the parents and the children. So it really is a full circle because the leaders learn so much from the children. Because children have this beautiful innocence of seeing things completely black and white. It's either
Yes.
right or it's wrong. And as you get older, you're taught like it's okay to do a white lie and things like that. But it helps bring back that innocence and that clarity to somebody that's maybe already achieved things and they just need to simplify a little bit. And then the kids need some guidance on how to get there and know that it's okay to dream big. And if they put their trust in God, that it could actually grow into something beautiful, and doing it together as the body of Christ. And then of course the parents, like they're the bridge between, and there's so much to learn from that part, because they're learning, dealing with raising children, but also needing a mentor themselves. So I
Yes.
love how that beautifully encompasses all the generations and all the walks of life. And then to mention, you put them in nature. Well, in the Bible, every time that you go on a mountaintop, that's where you found God.
Yeah.
And you could worship and glorify him. So of course, when we're one with nature, we're actually one with God, and we can hear his voice, and we can connect better with each other, because you're in a state without distractions and technology, and you can just be and enjoy that community. So I'm thrilled. I think it's wonderful that you have this program. How do people find out about it? Do they go online? Do they sign up for it? How does that work?
Uh, they can go to our website and the information's there, but we also have it on social media because everyone's invited. Everyone's invited that wants to join the group. This last hike that we had last week, there was 45 people on that hike, and 10 of them couldn't make it. So we figured that this next hike, we're going to have over 50 folks, and it's parents, youth, business leaders. It's our community. It's our
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
It's our community. So it continues to grow. But yes, they can go to the HCSB. Let me give you that.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure and link it
Okay,
below. But
okay.
it's hcsb.com .org.
That's what I'm trying to get because
Okay.
I should know it
Absolutely.
by heart, but it's www.hcsb slash us.org.
Okay, wonderful. And I'll make sure and link that into the description. Also, Frank, if you're okay, I'm going to link in Inland Body and Paint as well. So if anybody in the Inland Empire needs body and paint work done on their vehicles, they can take it to you. And it's Fontana, is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom for aspiring leaders or entrepreneurs right now that just need a little bit of encouragement? Do you have any words for them?
No, definitely. Just keep pushing. Entrepreneurs have it inside them to just persevere and fight and push forward. We all do. We all do. But when you become a small business owner, you take on responsibilities of our community also because as you get employees, uh, they're depending on you. Their families are dependent on you. So you take that on also. So you have an extended family. So things happen. You might uh, lose a business many times, but that's just part. That's just the the journey. The journey. Don't give up. Don't give up. Sometimes sit back and remember where you were years ago when you wish and you hope to be where you're at that day. Don't be discouraged. If like I said, if you're not successful the first time, second time, third time, just keep going, persevere. Also, if you open up a small business in a certain industry and then you find that that's not quite your niche, you're not happy, and it's okay to pivot to a different industry. But just keep going. If I understand being a small business owner, you can't be in touch with a lot of the rules and laws that impact you, but that's where you get that information from organizations like ours um, to assist you. So you're not alone. I know that a lot of times it feels like you are alone, but just know that there's hundreds and thousands of small business owners that are going through the same thing that you are. That sometimes helps because you feel like you're alone. Like oh my God, you know, uh, why me? Why me? No, no, there's a reason. There's always a reason that things are happening. I'm a true believer in that. I'm a true believer in that because I didn't see that uh, before, but now I see that when the door closes, uh, a garage door is going to open,
Yes, so
and it's
true.
okay. Yeah,
So
it's
true.
okay. So just don't give up. Have fun at it because myself. Once the fun is gone, I'm done. So because I enjoy what I do, so have fun at it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. And one thing I do want to say is I always find myself when I'm struggling, I speak to my higher power all the time in the car, in the shower. I'm always talking to someone, like, oh Lord, this, going through that, and just talk openly. That helps me. That helps me. It because it reminds me that I'm not alone, that there's always someone there with me. That helps me get through the tough times.
Absolutely. We have to be there for each other. And I love what you're saying of, just keep going. And it's okay if you find yourself in a position that you need to pivot because there are community groups such as yours to help others. And then there's, someone like me who is a coach and consultant who can help you pivot. As painless as possible and take the information that you already have and organize it properly so you can go ahead and align your strengths to live your calling. Because maybe you are in the right industry, but you need help with other things. So you need to bring on somebody else with someone has different strengths than yourself.
Ex-
And when you put that all together, it can be such a beautiful thing. So I'll let you all know next time that I host a masterclass. It's the Called and Capable Masterclass. So that way you can, receive some free training on that. And because that goes hand in hand with what Frank was just saying. So I love that. You and I are both doing the same thing in just slightly different ways.
Well, I want to say, Sarah, what you're doing is amazing uh, because this morning, I there's some things happening in our community with some youth that are having their struggles and challenging. I didn't go to bed till 3 in the morning yesterday because I was dealing with some youth till 11 o'clock last night, and then I had to decompress. So when I came to my office today, little off, but just talking to you has reminded me how beautiful life is, and just seeing your smile, and I'm good. I got my boost of keep going myself because that happens to me. It happens to all of us, and I call it life. Life happens. Life happens. But
Absolutely.
Sarah, I want you to tell me now. Uh, how'd you get into this? What happened?
What started it?
Yeah.
Of course. So, actually, back in 2018, I was hired on because unfortunately, all the internal staff of a business had quit, and I was hired to hire and train full staff. Meanwhile, do the job myself, multiple jobs, until I was able to hire and train a full staff. And so, because I was starting with a clean slate, I really got down to the employees that were still there, that were, more of the sales and mechanics and so forth. And so I was able to take their strengths and align it with the people that I hired and trained. And so that way it was a nice yin and yang, if you will, if you want to get all hippie about it. So I was able to align the company's strengths together and put people in different positions to help that company move forward and launch forward. And still to this day, I believe all but one employee is still there. So I'm really proud of that. But and then personally, I've been on other podcasts and shows, and I've helped other people. There was actually a clinical psychologist. She was having hesitations about branching out on her own. She had a job with, I believe it was the county at the time, and anyways, I helped her overcome her fears and branch out and believe in herself and start her own practice. And she still has that to this day in multiple states, actually, because virtually you're able to expand. So One of the gifts that God has given me is to help others. I have that ability to see strengths and help others capitalize on it. So I'm able to use that in a personal and professional way to help somebody grow in their calling in Christ. So taking their strengths, aligning them, and start living their calling. So it's been such a blessing to do this and work with different people because we are here to lift each other up. And if somebody in the body is sick, we need the other, parts of us to encourage each other, to be there for each other, and go, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need someone to help me with SEO, or I need someone to do, sales or marketing or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's internal, like accounting. Accounting is I can do it, but it's not what I really want to do. So I have an account. But you know what I'm saying? So that way you can all work together. So for me, it's been such a joy to see this develop and to work with friends and colleagues that I've known for years. Some of them new, some of them I've known forever, and it's been really amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful. You have a good heart, and it shows since the first day I met you. I you have an aura of um, of life. You have an aura that I've always felt comfortable with you. I enjoyed seeing you. I enjoyed seeing your smile because you would brighten up a room, and you still do, and you still do. So what you do is you're a leader. You're a leader. Uh, you're leading yourself, but you're also bringing the community along with you. That is so
Thank you.
important, and I admire you for that. I admire you for that. I'm so proud and privileged to be your friend because
Thank you, Frank.
there's people in your life that come into your life and make everything better, and you're one of those people. So I
Thank
want to
you.
thank
It's
you.
my honor. It's my
I want to
honor.
thank you.
You
But
know,
I go
I've
ahead.
had a
I'm
lot
sorry.
of fun with you throughout the throughout the years. We've had, oh gosh, we've done events down in LA. We've done them up in, what was it, Sonoma?
Yes,
Oh my
Sonoma.
goodness. I was the only white girl that had voting rights. That was so
Yes,
much fun at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And like what you're saying, it doesn't matter what your nationality is, and I think we're
exactly.
all kind of mutts anyway. Um, but
True.
it's been a
True.
blast. We've had a wild ride. Professionally, personally, it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to continuing that relationship and helping each other out and moving forward. And hopefully, this podcast lands on listeners who just need a little bit of encouragement to have a reminder that there is a community and there are people to help. Um, and their resources. You just got to kind of look for them, and hopefully, this inspires other people to help others as well.
No, just your podcast helps. Your
Thank you.
podcast helps. I love what you are doing. It's so needed. I would love to come back and maybe bring one of the students with me to have a conversation with you, which would change the whole dynamic of the podcast. Because I believe me, you and I are just going to be there listening, and we're going to ask them questions and a point of view that they bring, like you said, black and white, and it helps me. It helps me when I'm talking to you because I learn things that I would never learn, or learn things that I didn't know was out there, and it makes me a better grandfather, a better father, a better community member, but also a better business owner because then I understand our customers that are going to come to us 10 years from now, or less, when they get their jobs, they get their vehicles, and they're in our community. You need to understand uh, community because small businesses plan 3 to 5 years in advance. Right now, it's difficult because the business climate continuously changes. The goalposts keeps moving. So for a small business, I think it's for anyone. I think it's important to mentor the youth, to stay connected with them because you're investing in the future of your business. Because, like I said, these are your future workforce, future customers, and future partners. So I recommend that everyone uh, get with young folks or anyone and help them. And you might go there to try to help them or mentor them, and you leave being mentored. You leave being helped. So it's a beautiful thing. You never know where you're going to find your inspiration.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. You know, Frank, it's been such a pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much for coming. I've enjoyed hearing your story about how you serve others and how you inspire the community. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me, and I really enjoyed it. As you can see, my smile, and it was good to see you. And hopefully, we see each other and we go have tacos. I know that
Yes.
trying to
Yes. Oh my
we've been
goodness,
trying to
those
have a
street
taco date.
tacos at 2 a.m. in LA, sign me up. Ooh, those are some good tacos. The elote carts. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
definitely, definitely.
Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've had a blast with Frank and myself. I'll make sure and link his websites in the description below. So if you find yourself in the Inland Empire or Southern California and you want to take your car to his body shop, or if you're interested in joining the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses, you can go ahead and inquire about that. Perhaps go on one of those leadership hikes. It sounds like
Yes.
it's pretty life changing, which is wonderful. Um, so also, if you did like this show, go ahead and hit subscribe, and that way we can get as many followers as possible because we are here to serve. We are here to bring information to people like you and other entrepreneurs and people that just want to live their calling personally or professionally. So go ahead and like this episode, share it with your friends and colleagues. And next week, we have a visionary writer and composer, a director who has established an award, excuse me, because I can read and talk at the same time, who established a award-winning faith-based community theater in 1993. He brings over 30 years of original musicals and uplifting stories to more than 30,000 annual guests a year at Lifehouse Theater. As a passionate advocate for the arts, he has crafted a unique interdimensional space that inspires families and volunteers alike, and its commitment to excellence in positive storytelling. So next week, you don't want to miss it. But thank you so much today, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Called and Capable podcast. Thanks for joining us. If today's interview sparked something, whether it's clarity on your path or motivating you to succeed, don't stop here. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen, and catch the video version on YouTube or Rumble. Be sure to grab your free capability audit checklist at calledandcapablepodcast.com/audit. Until next time, keep chasing what you're called to do because you are capable. See you soon.